I got you, bro. So check this shit, bro. I got you. Yeah, a little gift from me to you.
A few minutes later.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Back to the studio. 2024 music.
Some niggas just never learn, dog. If you don't know already, the streamer Adinross has officially gotten scammed twice in a week.
It's gotta be some kind of a record.
The first of the two baffling scams comes from 21 Savage. The name 21 Savage truly does radiate trustworthiness and honor, doesn't it? Anyways, the two streamed together this past week and ended up gambling on stream together. And yeah, this dude 21 was hella scummy for what he was trying to do. Bro was using marked cards and making Adin call him Dada. And this was not for a small amount of money on my guy. We're talking 250,000 smackaroos. Luckily for Adin, before he paid the bill, someone so gracefully showed him that the cards were marked. And even his chat acknowledged that. So in a panic, Savage tried to pull out an Oscar-winning performance by leaning over and looking at the cards with Adin to make sure they were truly marked. But ultimately couldn't handle the pressure of getting caught live by thousands, scamming, and swiftly left the premises. The thing about it though is, there was a whole ordeal about this on the interwebs. Academics even said in the clip that Adin needs to stop messing with these rappers for the simple fact that they don't respect him, and instead they view him as an opportunity and a walking fleece. But ultimately, Savage ended up paying Adin the money instead as a form of damage control. And Adin, being the overly nice guy that he is, allowed them to reconcile and now are even planning to stream together again. And this is a problem, and I strongly disagree with it. But we'll get into that soon, I promise. Fast forward, and less than a week later, Adin ends up making a deal with Playboy Carti for him to come on his stream. But no, this deal wasn't any type of ordinary deal. It was absolutely outrageous. Like, bro made a deal to pay a multi-millionaire $2 million, a Ferrari, and a PJ flight. Like, what the f? Bro's gone absolutely mad, bro. And this was all for him to just be on stream for no more than an hour. So, like anyone that you know, Carti showed up. But it was the most awkward thing ever.
It was actually a deal from Rick.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice. I like it, bro. It's nice. All right, well, chat, look, if you guys got questions for him, we don't got him for too long. You working on the album, though, right?
Love you. Love you. Thank you. Thank you.
And after 6 minutes of I love yous and complete dead air, Carti says, I have to go, and runs off with the bag full of money that Adin headed him as a much needed icebreaker.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Yep. Carti completely finessed Adin out of a minimum of $1 million for a whopping 6 minutes. But the World Wide Web did not let this slide. Rightfully so, every internet personality and even Carti fans couldn't help but sympathize with Adinross. Called out Carti for being a complete scumbag, and the hate train was growing rapidly. So guess what happened? Carti ended up calling up Adin to apologize and do a part 2 stream. But anyone with a brain could see that this was just a form of damage control, right? Right? Well, either Adin is completely brainless, or it just doesn't matter to him because he's so forgiving, or he knows the money that the stream will pull in. Because at the time of this recording, Adin has just confirmed that him and Carti have made up and are going to do a second stream the quote-unquote right way. But here's the problem with that. You have to learn when to separate. But that seems to be an issue that I've noticed that a lot of people have in the world. You see, Adin is way too nice, and he likes to hold hands, and he's too nice to the wrong people. And due to that, he constantly gets taken advantage of. Whether it's rappers trying to nickel and dime him, women in his life thriving off of his resources, or even other streamers that he either considers or once considered to be friends, or even other streamers that he either considers to be a friend or once considered to be a friend, using him for his clout. He just constantly seems to run into the problem of his kindness getting taken advantage of. And that's because he doesn't know when to let go. He likes to hold hands and stay together, and in the long run ends up getting hurt by it. But you see, this isn't an Adin only issue. Plenty, and I mean plenty of other people deal with this. They live life on the sweet side, and when it comes to any kind of relationship, they tend to be on the more forgiving side. But the problem lies with them applying that to every relationship they have, which ends up allowing the wrong kind of people into their lives. This leads to them getting walked all over, and the people doing the walking knows how kind they are. So they end up doing the bare minimum to stay in the person's good graces, which isn't hard to do. And then they inevitably end up repeating the cycle. People like that are the equivalent of parasites, and you have to draw a line in the sand before the bad stuff starts happening, not after. Otherwise, they'll sit around like vampires, sucking you dry because they know that they can get away with it. And yes, those kind of people that allow themselves to act like that are disgusting. But I pose one question. Who's going to stop them? Because you sure as hell never did. And that's where the overly kind people bear the burden of responsibility. At a point in time, we gotta realize that it's no longer about forgiveness and trying to see the good in people. It's about principle and respect. And if there's a lack of either or even both, then you must acknowledge that your kindness is either your greatest weakness or that it's simply getting taken as such. You can't continue to fall back on the fallacy of forgiveness equates to relationship, or that the person can change or has redeeming qualities about them. I mean, hell, I'm sure even Stalin had redeeming qualities about him, but who the f is gonna hang around that guy? Everyone can be forgiven. That's not the issue. But not everyone needs to remain an associate. And that's the fact of the matter. And that's the big problem with adinross and a lot of people. You keep the worst of the worst around unnecessarily, and the grace that you give gets spat on, and you allow yourself to go through that rinse and repeat cycle with these type of people because you either think it's the godly thing to do or it's the right thing to do, but it's not. You're just allowing yourself to be a doormat. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to be forgiving, but don't be foolish and naive. Wash your hands and love them from a distance. You don't have to keep them around to be considered forgiving. So let them free. Trust me, it's the only way to keep your sanity. But if I was to sum this all up, I'll sum it up like this. Remember, forgiveness is a dove that doesn't tether itself to the chains of personal bonds. So stay resilient and let your kindness be a sturdy shield, not a door for exploitation.
Wait.